It was very rich, very, very loving.
We're still recuperating.
Well, you put a lot in. You're
Well,
still a human being, Ramji.
If you got 25 people in your house for a week,
It's hard work.
it's hard work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you still have to hold us all. It was great. We all loved it. Everybody was singing and happy inside. You could tell.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed the heck out of it. There's David. Hi, David. He can't hear. Oh, and Danielle. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Ramji. I was muted.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Yeah. No, there's Elliot. Are you laughing, Elliot? Are you in a good mood tonight? Are you humorous? Okay.
Is that El?
How do we measure it?
Yeah. Well, on your blissometer, you can buy a blissometer from the Shining World merch shop. The blissometers are, they're reasonable, and you can do them in payments. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
What if you're laugh challenged? Do you get a discount?
But a laugh challenge? No, you have to go to a remedial camp.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I know, it's not good. Hey,
Yes,
Joe. That's Joe. Hey, Joe. What is Joe short for? Joanne or Joan or what?
Joanna.
Joanna. Okay.
Yes. My original name, the one that I was given, was Joanna Pendlebury.
Pendlebury. What's a
Pendlebury.
What's a pendleberry? I've never heard of pendleberries.
It's a very English name.
Yeah, I know, but it must be named after a certain kind of fruit, huh?
No, it's a place in the north of England.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, near where my father came from.
Right.
I can't see. Where's Ramji? Oh, there you are. I'm not seeing you. There you are.
Oh, you got to see me. I'm the great Ramji. I mean,
Ramji, 1 minute.
What? 1 minute?
7 o'clock now.
Well, are we gonna stick to the time schedule?
Oh, it's up to you.
Well, Cookie. Hi, Cookie. And Michelle. There's Michelle also. Hey, Michelle. Hey, boy, look at that. Oh, where's Carolyn? I don't see Carolyn.
Carolyn is there.
She's there, but she's not showing her pretty face. Hey, Carolyn. Did you survive the nasty job I gave you? Seems you did well. I can't hear. Flip.
I'm not applying for a secret agent job yet.
Okay. I knew they'd go for it. It's just because it was all good. It was all legal, but it's just they want to make sure that everything is, up and up. Because they were bad boys. That bank was bad boys. They're still.
You're not kidding.
Yeah.
There was a lot of snickering going on when I named the bank.
Yes, that's right. In fact, we got caught up in it. Yeah, what?
We must get going. It's
Oh, I'm getting. Let's see, that word wouldn't be nagged, would it? What the word would that be? Yeah, okay. We've got to get serious here, and get this thing started. Okay. Do you want a 1, 2, 3? Sarashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Guratmeti Murti Beda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Deyaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosyam
You need to tell people to mute themselves.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you'll all mute yourselves.
Otherwise, I'll mute everybody, then you can unmute
Yeah.
yourself.
Okay. Yeah. We'll mute you, and then you can unmute people. Mute when you have.
need to unmute yourself, and you need to pin yourself.
Oh, I need to unmute myself. Okay.
And pin yourself.
And pin myself. Let's see. I go. Where do I forgot?
Just to the little buttons on the side, the 3 little buttons at the top.
Oh, up here in this one. Okay. Yeah. And pin. All right. And I want this one. All right. Good. Thank you, Gary. Okay. Vedanta in Code. The Cosmic Dance, Part 3, and the topic is evolution. Sunday, October 15th, 2023. You can all see the picture of Shiva? Yeah, good. We are all cosmic dancers. Let's continue our inquiry into us. When we last met, we discovered that many of us have a confusion about the difference and the non-difference of the eternal impersonal self, the dancing Shiva, which is on your screen, and the non-eternal personal self, a qualified inquirer, the personal dwarf, Jiva, below. So you got 2 things on this thing we're going to talk about, the relationship between the impersonal self and the dwarf Jiva. It's a dwarf for a reason. And that will become apparent as we unfold the teaching. Because, consequently, let's put it this way, we are devoted to worshiping the personal self. That seems to be our focus. And that causes what? Suffering. So, assuming that you're not interested in suffering, let me tell you a lovely story, which will hopefully bring clarity and eliminate our suffering. Before we appear on the cosmic clock as individuals, something has to be present from which it's possible to evolve. Who am I? I am an individual person, a jiva, and I am made out of 3 things. A, before I exist, creation, original, pure consciousness exists. Oh, I got a mistake here. Hold on, just a minute. I got it. I'm going to edit this as I go, because we're going to turn this into a. I'm going to edit this as I go. Didn't quite get it. Before I exist, original, pure consciousness exists. It did not originate. In other words, it is not born. There is no life or time for this, call it what you will, something. It just is. It is called pure unborn consciousness or isness, and it looks like this. See that Om there? That's called Om. Do you want to know why this is you? Well, you'll just have to watch Shining World's video series on the Mandukya Upanishad to learn the why, because I'm going to tell you this story tonight. Stage one. Stage one is beautiful, intelligent ignorance, sometimes known as God. And it creates. What does it look like? It looks like this. And it adds a burning ring of fire, which provides a reflecting medium without which our lovely story is impossible. Here it is, the reflecting medium. If you're wondering how ignorance creates, stay tuned. But first you need to know more. You'll be surprised to know that ignorance is clever and compassionate. So it thinks ahead and creates the macrocosmic gross body, which is, don't get frightened, don't worry, very simple words now: space, air, fire, water, and earth. Got to get an and in there. And earth. And it, the macrocosmic gross body, evolves for 8 billion years in stages. We got a little problem here. Let's see what I can create. It also, you need to know, has the right equipment to create. What would that right equipment would be? 3 gunas. It is 3 intelligent energies. Think big there, I got it sorted. It is 3 intelligent energies that create, think Big Bang, in 3 stages. Stage 2. During the subsequent 5 billion years, the macrocosmic subtle body evolves from the macrocosmic gross body. First macrocosmic gross body, then macrocosmic subtle body. And that 5 billion years sets the stage for the third act, for ignorance's third act. And what happens during that stage? It dreams up the Higgs boson, ordinary bosons, quarks, mesons, pi mesons, protons, electrons, neutrons, and atoms during its brief appearance on the second stage. As you can see here in this nice little graphic, here's a quark, quarking. And quarks quark all the way, they grossify all the way up to become atoms. Now we're getting kind of in familiar territory. You can more or less see an atom, and we have a nice little color picture here of an atom. Then, next, God gives life, but not like this. Michelangelo was a artistic, lazy, romantic, probably stoned. I mean, you'd have to be stoned to be lying upside down, staring at a ceiling on a scaffolding for like 10 or 15 hours a day. So let's say he was stoned. Michelangelo was an artistic, lazy, romantic, probably stoned, and he left out many stages, but don't worry. Why? Because Vedanta has got it covered. So, keep listening, please. In stage 3, after 13 billion years, add the 5 billion and the 8 billion to the first 2 stages, unicellular conscious beings, think amoebas, parameciums, appear in the gassy Cambrian soup. These little guys multiply by dividing, mitosis, and recombining with 1/8 portion of themselves, which involves 5 stages. When they get done with business, it makes plants possible. Think photosynthesis and carbon monoxide. So what? So that insects have something to eat. Ignorance is so smart and so logical. Guess what's next? Birds. But wait. To continue our story, we need to move from billions to millions of years. Finally, ta-da, us, humanoid mammals, featherless bipeds known as Homo habilis, appear somewhere between 300 and 500 million years ago. Our feathers have become hairs, and we've given up flying. It's for the birds. We camp in caves at first and eventually build nice little mud houses. We like weapons and glorify violence. The world today is mostly us guys. We dress up a bit to deceive, but we are hard to spot because we are so gross. This guy evolves in 5 stages from stone human, most tamas, some rajas, and a little sattva, to plant human, equal bits of all 3, on to animal human, most rajas and tamas, a bit of sattva, and 4 to human, all 3 nicely balanced. When human appears, we get karma dharma and zero-sum samsara. We also get minutes, seconds, hours, days, weeks, months, and years, and a host of problems. These 4 humans, groups, ethical or otherwise, are divided into 4 groups according to their predominant guna. 1. Creative thinkers. 2. Administrators, warriors, and cops. 3. Entrepreneurs. And 4. Service personnel. Source of this, Bhagavad Gita. Finally, 5 to 10,000 years ago, we arrive at the pinnacle. And what is the pinnacle? The God human. I couldn't find a woman rishi as hard as I could look, so I've got to have a man rishi. But I pay homage. We pay homage to the woman rishis by putting him, her. With this rishi, the him, her, we get what? These are the only ones who desire to be free. And what? Because they desire to be free, ignorance is very, very kind and very, very thoughtful. What does it do? It creates Vedanta. Answer. What is Vedanta? Vedanta is a word mirror. You look in the rear view mirror and what do you see? Yourself. And who is it for? Okay. It's for a qualified inquirer. Look at that. There's our little Jiva guy. Our clever little Jiva guy. Oh my God. He is so cool. Let me see if I can just expand him a little bit. Here, and what?
I can do it. Oh yeah.
I just pull it. That's one, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oopsie. I'll keep, let me keep expanding. We want to talk about Jiva. That's us. We'd love to talk about ourselves. So we'll try that. Nope. Well, that's enough, I guess, huh? That'll do for now. It's not too balanced, but it's okay. You can help me?
Mm-hmm. I try.
Try to see if you can get him up there, because we need some details here to talk about little Jiva.
It's pretty big already.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's okay. It's a little off center, but oh, well, that kind of helps. Yeah. Yeah, that's even better. That's fine. Okay, now I'm going to have to take a little time here with this guy, because that's us. That's us. That's Satsangis. There we are. What? At the bottom of Shiva's feet in a. Notice here. A different dimension. He's not standing on us because he's Satya and we're Mithya. He's in a different dimension, but we're people who what? Who are aware of him, her, it, what, whatever it. Aware of beautiful, intelligent ignorance creating. Here's beautiful, intelligent ignorance creating this whole story. And this guy is his gray body. You notice that gray body? What does that gray body mean? A gray is a mixture of what? Black and white. Which means what? It means he's confused. He's a confused person. What is he confused about? He doesn't know if he's what? If he's spirit, light, or matter, dark. These colors. Black is symbol of what? Of ignorance, of darkness, and light. White is a symbol of what? Spirit. Pure luminous consciousness. So he doesn't know which one he is, but he sort of suspects, see his head here? He sort of suspects that he may be non-different from Shiva. From existence shining as awareness, isness. You'll notice he's a smart guy too. He inherits his smarts from what? What's this here? He inherits his smarts from Shiva. Gary's going to try to fix it again here. There we go. You will notice in his hand.
You have to say they don't see your finger.
Oh, they can't see my finger?
No.
Oh, sorry. I'm so into it, I think I'm out there in the computer. In his hand, he has what? A scroll. What does the scroll mean? The scripture. Vedanta. And why does he have that scripture in his hand? Because he has a common sense attitude that's born out of the realization or the understanding that life, trying to find happiness and completeness and solve his spiritual questions here, is what? Is a zero-sum endeavor. For every up, there's a down. For every down, there's an up. And he's attracted by, what else? The logic of Vedanta, which will, which he is willing, which means that what? He is willing to convert his desire, his or her desire, for specific, discrete experiences into a desire to know who he or she is. If you remember up above, let me try.
Yeah, 1 second.
I'll go back up to the top. I can scroll from here.
Yeah.
If you remember up above, you'll notice, let's go up here. Notice Shiva's hair. Look at his hair. It's wild. It's flying. He's dancing. He's rotating and dancing. He's moving. Not only is the ring of fire moving, it's spinning around, that like changing all the time. But his hair is wild and crazy.
Oops.
Now, if you look at this guy, this little dwarf guy, look at his hair. See how it's all trundled up and tidied up and nice and tight? Means what? He's bound. He's constricted. And he'd like to let his hair down and what? And have it fly out as he dances wildly in ecstasy, inspired by his own bliss, his own inner nature. Understand? The next thing we need to know on this image is he's got a third eye too. What's that third eye? Remember chapter 11 of the Bhagavad Gita? That's a special eye given to what? To those of us who are sincere inquirers, that allows us to see what's behind the scene, the whole big picture, the whole enchilada, all the upside of the macrocosmic Shiva and all the downside of the macrocosmic Shiva, which if it's there, if there is a downside, it's in us too. He wants to see that. He needs to see that so that he can love those parts of himself that what? Are less than holy, pure, and perfect. He's looking upward in anticipation of teaching. He's eager to get teaching. It's an aspirational, anticipatory look on his face. He's not frightened and he's not ecstatic. He's curious. That's why he's white, sattva. The sattva is a pure mirror that reflects awareness in its pure form, and in which all the higher values are embedded. Next, you'll notice what? His decorations. If you look at, I left you can't see me pointing. On
Can use
sheep,
mouse cursor.
on the mouse cursor. Oh yeah, that's right. Here, these decorations, Shiva's decorations, are what? Are what? Yellow, gold, and red. Means Shiva and Shakti. The gold is Shiva, and the what? And the red is Shakti. All the universe, the whole universe is nothing but a unification, a combination of Shiva and Shakti. Those of you who came to the seminar will recall Sundari's sculpture of the three gunas, embracing with one set of feet, generating not 4 feet, but 2 feet, generating the three gunas. So two energies, two factors are necessary to create, and that's what? Consciousness, Shiva, and Shakti, matter. And finally, he's got it's hard getting the right color on this one here, but that's a funny little blue, that's a little blue cup. You could say a cup, what would you call it? Bowl. And in which are little yellow blobs of what? Butter. Or sweets, either way, sweets or butter. Sweets and butter are both symbols of what? Of bliss. Butter's what? Is latent in what? In milk. In the sattvic mind, in a pure mind, butter is latent, means bliss is latent. And if you churn the ocean with the knowledge of the Vedanta, with this teaching, you will experience the bliss of your nature. And this guy is satisfied that he or she has found his purpose, or his or her purpose in life. To live here properly and happily, you need to understand what your original purpose is. And Vedanta shows us or reveals that purpose to us. I will pause the story here, and we'll take up the next issues as we next week. We have to talk about the symbols in Shiva's hands. We have to talk about his legs, how he's dancing. We have to talk about this drum, the Om on his hand, the funny arm here, the forearms, and this one that's reaching down, the one that's holding the fire. We have to talk about the death's head that's here on his forehead. On the forehead, you can't see it, it's too small. But right here, where this cross is, there's a smiling head of death, death's head. So all of these are topics we will cover next week and tie them into the whole story, so that you can have some physical, tangible symbol in your home for your meditation. This is just we're not trying to generate symbols just for the heck of it, pretty symbols, although these are beautiful symbols. But we're trying to give you a device that will cause you to remember these teachings. So when you look at these symbols, what's going to happen? Immediately your mind will go to that teaching. And as you move your attention around this whole image, all of these things will come together in what? In a vision of non-duality. I mean, you can establish yourself, your vision as in non-duality by what? By constantly what? Repeating this meditation. Vedanta's meditation is what? It's with thoughts. We call that that's formal meditation or informal meditation, because there's no form. But to get to informal meditation, it's very helpful to have what? Formal meditation. Form means this form. You can make your own if you want to, but you need to see that each one of those symbols that you construct, right, has some sort of organic, logical connection with what? With the thing that it refers to. So, having said that, let's open this satsang up for.
There was one last paragraph at the bottom.
What do you mean, at the very bottom?
Yeah,
Down here?
a little bit upwards.
Oh.
Yeah, here.
No, I already talked about that.
Oh, okay.
So that it just means what? An inquirer is somebody who realizes that they can't beat the zero-sum game by what? By doing things, by chasing more experiences.
What does zero sum mean?
Zero-sum means for every upside there's a downside. So for every gain there's a loss. So every time you set out to have a particular experience, it means that what? That you're going to suffer a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you gain something, you have to lose something on the other side. You know, the upside of that is that when you lose something, there's a gain implied.
Mm-hmm.
So this person knows that what? That gain and loss, right? Success and failure, in the definition of the gain and loss and success and failure don't work for me. In other words, the worldly or samsaric definition of it, which is getting what I want and avoiding what I don't want, right? So they're ready to understand Vedanta, because Vedanta is the only way you're going to turn a gain into a loss and a loss into a gain at once. You're going to see both the upside and the downside of everything, which means what? You won't chase anything, or you won't run away from anything, and therefore what? You have no option but to rest in yourself as you are, your uncreated, unborn self as you are, by default. Understand? But you have to go through this process somehow. And a lot of us have gone through this process to some degree, but we haven't been consistent in the way we apply this inquiry. Right? So,
I have another question.
yeah.
Does it actually ever end, this desire to know oneself?
The desire to know oneself ends, but the desire to know doesn't end. Because why? Because knowledge is the nature of consciousness. It always wants to know. So knowing never stops. But the desire to know who or what I am stops. That desire to know who I am is what's it doing? It's forcing me to postpone my life. It's making me go on this spiritual journey, and I'm not living my life. I have to walk away from my normal life to live a spiritual journey. And that, now, of course I'm going to have to do that, but I don't want to do that forever, do I? If you run away on the spiritual trip for this whole lifetime, you're just going to get reborn on a spiritual trip the next lifetime. I want to actualize myself right here as I've been born, as I appear here. I, meaning awareness, appears here as this person, in my case, called James. Right. So,
yeah, for me it's like a perfect definition for bhakti, the desire to know oneself.
absolutely. That freedom that we're all seeking is non-dual love. Because when you love yourself completely, you don't need anybody to love you. And you don't need anybody to love. See it? See the duality there? You don't need to be loved from the outside, and you don't need to love yourself. What? Because you know that your nature is what? Love. So you can say, I am free, and know that that means I am love. And you can say, I am love, and you know that that means I'm free. Free of what? Free of the need to, right? To have an object of love, like a family, a mother, a father, a job, or whatever it is. You're free of that need. Not that you can't have a family and a mother and a father and a lover, a job, and so forth and so on. You certainly can. But what you don't have those, you're not looking for freedom or love from those things. Right? You're enjoying the freedom and love that what you are as it appears in those things. So when you love somebody, you're loving the self in that somebody. And that takes care of, what does that take care of? All this duality, this conflict. So, okay, good. Anyone else have a comment, question, contribution, argument, complaint?
Ramji, I do.
Okay, who is this?
Jeremy,
Oh, Jeremy. Okay, Jeremy. Good to see you, guy.
good to see you too.
Yeah, catching any fish out there in Wyoming?
Always, always.
Okay.
I just wanted to comment on how it's interesting how Nididhyasana brings us full circle back to devotion, whereas dualistic devotion prior to self-inquiry was a practice of getting something to improve life. And so it's like, okay, well, that's not working. So let's go to knowledge and try to understand. And then here we are at this process of trying to assimilate. And then it brings us back to a need to purify the mind in order to hold on to that self-inquiry, which brings us back to devotion, which brings us, it's just a kind of a full circle thing
It's a
for me.
loop. That's non-dual. That's right. It just keeps going. It always keeps referring back to what? To love, to yourself.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. So thank you for that.
Well,
I enjoyed.
you got to thank yourself, Jeremy. For we've been at this for what? How long has this been? Over 10 years?
Over 10 years. Yeah, I'm a slow learner, apparently.
But say, slow and steady wins the race, you know.
Yeah.
It's that tamasic quality is very helpful. That makes you stubborn and stick to it. So
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not gonna get defeated by this doubt, you know, this problem by the life. I'm gonna sort this out. So good for you, man. I'm really happy
Thank
for
you.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
Thank you for your contribution. Yeah.
Yeah. Much love.
Much love to you. Oh, there's Shay. Hi, Shay.
Hi, James. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm feeling fine. I enjoy it. It's really nice to see you.
Yes. I'm going to be a regular now.
Good, yeah, because that situation you're in over there is well, it's less than ideal.
Yeah.
And since you can't escape it, it's better to put your mind on something that is really productive.
Yes. I have a question. Just
sure.
For a moment, I have a terrible headache. I took some aspirin, but so far it's not working. Just 1 second.
Shay lives in Israel, so I think anybody would have a headache living there right now. That's a very difficult situation.
Yeah, maybe later I'll take another aspirin.
Yeah.
So you on one of the seminars, you spoke about awareness being aware of itself.
Yeah.
Or self-knowing itself. Now I have a question.
Yeah, okay.
From my personal experience,
Yeah.
As I was doing all the practices,
Yeah.
I know that I, as awareness, can be aware of objects or lack of objects, sometimes.
Yeah.
So, but since awareness is not an object, or the self, same thing, just different
Yeah,
words.
that's right.
Since the self is not an object,
Yeah.
how can the self be aware of itself? I still don't understand this point. If you could clarify, I would very much appreciate it.
Well, what are you seeking for?
Sorry?
Why are you seeking?
Why am I seeking?
Yeah, why do you want to know this answer to this question?
Well, because you mentioned that on one of the seminars.
No, that's right. But because you're aware that there's something more. The reason my words made sense to you is because you know that there's something more than shy.
Yes, of course.
Right? Well,
yes.
that means you're aware of awareness. You don't know it's awareness and you don't know it's yourself yet. But you're attracted to this teaching because this teaching is going to show you that what you don't know is what you are. And the way we accomplish that is we just take away the ignorance. We can't make you more aware or less aware or aware of awareness, actually. We can just take away the belief that there is a difference between you and yourself. So the very fact that you're seeking means you think there's a difference between you and yourself, and then you're a perfect candidate for Vedanta.
Oh, so awareness, being aware of itself is not an exercise or a practice.
No.
It's something that happens automatically after one does a lot of karma yoga.
Or just living. Just life. You don't even have to do any. I mean, you could call it karma yoga, but you just live. I have a friend that he was in his 50s, 40s, I guess it was. He was in his 40s. He didn't do any practices or anything like that. He told me, and I didn't realize it until recently, and I've known him for over 40 years. He told me recently, one fine day, he just became aware that something was watching, that something was aware of him. And that was when he met me, because that's when I show up. Because I happen to be awareness, and so I know what it is, and I know how to, reveal that through the teachings of Vedanta.
Okay, I'd like to further pinpoint or clarify my question. I don't know how to say this in English.
Yeah, sure, you're doing great. No, it's fine. It's very clear. For a guy with a headache, you're doing great.
Yeah, it's difficult to think like this, but I'm doing as best as I can. So, with the teachings and the practices, I know that I am awareness.
Yeah.
Aware of objects or lack of objects sometimes.
Yeah, and you're aware of your headache.
Yes, of course.
You don't have a headache. The headache is an object known to you.
Of course. But I have not yet been able to make awareness aware of itself.
Nobody can. Because it's not aware of itself.
Oh. No, because you said the self knowing itself.
Nobody can do that because that implies duality, doesn't it?
Let me think for a second. Duality. Yes.
It implies duality, but
yes.
The statement that Vedanta starts with is there's only awareness. Now, that statement's very provocative because I don't see awareness or smell or taste or touch or feel awareness.
course.
until I understand that everything I'm smelling, tasting, touching, and feeling is awareness.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
So no one, is going to become aware of awareness, because it's just purely ignorance operating here, and that ignorance keeps me seeking. I keep thinking, oh, there must be something I do with that. Scripture says it, and all these teachers, they all say, I'm aware of awareness and this and that. Take a stand
Yes.
in awareness, and so forth and so on.
Yes.
And those practices may be useful up to a point, but at some point you're going to have to see that that's totally illogical.
Yes. It never made sense. It never made sense to
Yeah,
me.
well, it shouldn't. Very good, because it doesn't make sense. So you don't even have to worry about that anymore. Because the one that's aware, if you're aware of a headache, then who's aware of the headache?
Me, the awareness.
I'm aware of the headache. Now that I is awareness. And there's no second self looking over that I's shoulder to
Right.
evaluate whether or not that I is aware of this or aware of that or whatever it is.
Yeah. I'm laughing because the way that the other teachers talked about this, it sounded to me as if awareness is aware of itself. Something is aware of something else. So never made sense to me.
No, it doesn't make, and good for you. It doesn't make sense. I know guys who spent anywhere from 5 to 10 years trying to puzzle that out, listening to various gurus.
Okay.
I've heard the
Then I
story
can
over and
understand.
over again, and then finally they just said no. They had to pack it in. They just realized it just wasn't possible, because it's not possible.
Well, I'm gonna toss that out then.
All right, good for you.
Well, I want to ask another question, but if there is time after everybody else finishes their questions. So I'm gonna mute myself now.
Okay.
And after everybody else asks their questions, if there is still time, I'll ask another one.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much, James.
You bet. It's Shy, is it, or Shay?
Shy.
Shy. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Ramji,
Huh? Yeah.
this is Cecilia.
This is who?
Cecilia from Mexico.
Oh, Cecilia. Cece.
Yes, Ramji. How are you? How's
Okay,
everybody?
Cece. Yeah.
I have a question too.
Okay.
I think so far, I finally got it. What I mean is it possible to be actualized, actualize the knowledge? I know who I am. Now I know I am. That's it. I know I am.
Yeah.
But still having to work out a lot of vasanas. Is that possible?
Sure.
I have to release the vasanas work, and so I'm not actualized. How to? What I mean, I'm still struggling with some vasanas. No?
Okay.
For example.
Well, are those vasanas real?
It's nitya. It's nitya.
Oh, well, if it's mithya, then why are you struggling with it? Because mithya means it's not real. It can't. It doesn't have any effect on I am.
It doesn't have any effect on the I am, but it has an effect on the individual. I mean, for example, I do smoke.
Yeah.
I used to smoke a lot. Now I much less, but I still enjoy to smoke some. No, but I say, is it possible to be actualized and have this kind of
yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
pattern, that I do repeat? And
well, I mean, you brush your teeth every day, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
You comb your hair, you take a shower. Well, why couldn't you smoke a cigarette? Those are just actions that you repeat every single day.
But washing my teeth is dharmic and smoking is adharmic.
Well, dharmic for who? For awareness?
Awareness is free. I am free.
Free of dharma,
Right.
free of dharma, and free of adharma. So it doesn't affect I awareness, does it?
No,
Now,
no.
okay, now if you like to inhale the smoke from burning vegetable matter, and you're willing to take, speaking as a Cece, if you're willing to take the consequences of that, then why not? I mean, I'm suspicious though, because you say you're cutting down.
I said what? Sorry?
You said you're not smoking so much, right? You smoked a lot before, but now you're smoking less and less and less, right? Okay, so why? Why are you smoking less and less and less if you're the self? If you're awareness, then why are you smoking less and less and less?
Where that smoking is not good for the physical body, for example.
Yeah, okay. So?
Care of this vehicle or this body that
Yeah. Well, how does that relate to you?
I'm aware of it.
Okay, well, you see how the zero sum here, how we're going round and round in a circle? Huh? You see how, huh? Because if awareness is unaffected by these things, then what does it matter? Like my guru, Swami Chinmayananda, he had the most disgusting habit. Worse than smoking a cigarette, I'd say. He chewed snuff. That all his life. I'm sure he had a heart attack and triple bypass, because I'm sure all of his tubes, the arteries were just completely plugged with tobacco and nicotine, tar, and so forth and so on. But he kept right on doing it right till the day he died. And he as the self, he was unaffected, but he was pretty cranky sometimes. He was mostly blissful all the time, but sometimes that would cause him to be really, really cranky and nasty and angry, and he'd express violence, verbal violence, not physical violence. I never saw him put any physical violence on anybody, but he was very violent at certain times with me and with other people. It was, so, once you're self-actualized, you have as much concern about other people's well-being as you do about your own. So these people think do whatever they need to do to make sure that their interactions with other people are non-harmful.
Yeah.
Now I met swamis who would just stay in caves and never interact with anybody else, and then who cares? If they want to smoke chillums or do whatever they do, they're not creating any harm for anybody else. And if they're happy with that, being isolated and alone and not expressing that, then there's no reason why that's adharmic. But we care as much about Ishwar as we do about ourselves. We care as much about the world as we care about ourselves, because we don't see a difference between ourselves and the world. So everybody I see is me. And I don't want to hurt myself, so why would I want to hurt you? I mean, sometimes I say things that hurt people, but that's not because I'm trying to hurt people. It's because the situation requires a particular kind of response, and Ishvara is what provokes me or compels me to respond according to my nature, but not there's no desire to like injure anybody else.
Definitely.
By
the way,
huh?
By the way, every word, all the explanation you have done with Shiva is what I get from you and from Sundari. Everything is that I don't need to have a Shiva, but I watching you, listening to you,
yeah,
gives me the same thing that you have been describing for Shiva.
Yeah,
so
that's right. Yeah, this Shiva thing is just a beautiful thing, a symbol. That's all, and it's very for me it's very helpful. I'm extroverted, and I like to, and I have a beautiful home, and I like to look at symbols of God. That's all. There's nothing wrong with dualistic devotion. It's like icing on the cake, really, but. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing right or wrong with it. It's just that it's not in contradict. It doesn't contradict non-dual devotion. It's just an additional enjoyment. So, for Bhajiva, I'd rather do that. Last week or so, I spent just nothing but on this teaching, getting this sorted out. Because I'd rather do that than like smoke or eat or drink or do any one of these worldly things. I just find more pleasure in it, and so I take my pleasure according to my guna, which is basically sattva guna. So
yeah, are you gonna share that document with us, or is it on the webpage?
Yeah, I will. I'll post it, and it's going to keep evolving. We're going to do a whole seminar on in Oos, Netherlands in what? 2 weeks?
Yeah, about 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks on this topic. We've sent the picture. They got a big projector. It's going on the wall. The seminar is full. It's booked out, and we'll probably, if the internet's good enough, we'll probably live stream it, and we'll explain it in more and more detail. By that time, I'll have added a lot of details because there's all kinds of really subtle details that can be, that symbol can evoke in your own mind. So, yeah.
Thank you, Randy.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Stacey, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Yeah. Oh, there's Johanna. Hi, Johanna.
Hi again.
Hi.
Just a follow-up question about what you were talking just right now.
Yeah.
So, someone could take what we talked about and just be like, it doesn't matter what we're doing as like human beings. But if I understood it correctly, it's not about the action per se, but the mindset, if I'm coming from knowledge or if I'm coming from ignorance.
Yeah.
So if I can feel like, okay, because it can be easy to trick oneself, be like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, but even deep down, I know it's like not good for the human, and I can just be like, I am, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's called the Advaita shuffle. You can go right ahead and act, and then say that you're the self. Absolutely, that and that's why for Vedanta you need a guru, because because the guru's not going to let you get away with that. Whereas your ego may very well possibly let you get away with that. In fact, it's the ego that wants to disown those negative parts of itself and go ahead and generate injury for itself and for other people, claiming that it's free or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I find it sometimes difficult, like these two sides of like self-optimizing, like I have to, do this and this and be very dharmic to be like free, which is not true. But also not like, like you said, trying to like validating things that are obviously like maybe not coming from a knowledge point of view.
Yeah, from a knowledge point of view. The thing is, you know, like it's a practical thing because every minute you want to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So why not choose the things that make you? Why not choose to think the things that make you feel the best? In other words, why not just analyze what thoughts in your mind at the time and see if you can't come up with a better thought? So you can optimize your situation always in the present moment. And at the same time, you know, I'm always thinking about my future self. I'm always thinking about what I can do for myself tomorrow, my future self. The James character. The James character is not non-existent. It exists. But and I love James, and I can see that, you know, I want to give James the best possible experiences that you know that are good for him. So I'm always setting up the situations by forcing Ishwar, by the way I act, by forcing Ishwar to create the situations that will make James happy.
Mm-hmm.
And Ishwar just does it. This is how you keep away death when you're old. you make Ishwar keep Ishwar so busy he can't jump off your shoulder and grab you and kill you, you know, and make you die. You just keep him so busy satisfying the results of your action that he can't play the role of the Grim Reaper and take you away. It's a joke, but there's truth to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, good for you. Yeah, it's the knowledge attitude. That's the point. That was the point about this seeker that I was talking about, that little gray dwarf underneath there. You know, is he's got the knowledge attitude. He's converted that desire for various experiences. You know all about that. You know, and converted that desire for experience into desire to know something. I mean, when did we meet? We must have met 10 years ago in Colorado, wasn't it?
No, it was in India.
Or was it prior to Colorado?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, but it's different, like being back in everyday routines and, you know, coming from this point of view. And also, like, I mean, just the last week with all the news. It's sometimes there's times when it's easier and sometimes where I think like everybody just, you know, not, keeping in mind what's really like coming from a different point of view.
It's hard to do, you know, when there's a big conflict or big crisis. It's hard to like switch away from that because somehow the mind seems to really focus on the pain. That's what the media has discovered. They have a saying in the media. It says, if it bleeds, it leads. Means it's a headline on the paper. So if there's pain and suffering, we make that the headline. People are immediately attracted to the misery, right? And so it's, you know, and it's just a habit that we've got. I know when I was in business, this was a long time ago, I noticed very, very long time ago, I was in my early 20s, and I realized that there were two kinds of customers. There was a customer who walked into the shop who was attracted and only looked for what was right about the object. And there was another type of customer who always looked for what was wrong with the object, and it was a hell of a job to convince that person to buy it because you had to knock off every single one of their arguments. Whereas the ones who were looking for what was right, you just had to nod your head and be friendly and nice, and you ring up the sale. That was it. So that's human nature. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with questioning things. On the other hand, you know, just look for what's right. You know, I'm beautiful. I'm fine. Life is great. Well, you know, I mean, like if you think about it, if you think about it, why does everybody worry about death? Because life is so good. Nobody wants to everybody wants to live another day, even when they're suffering. Why? Because they know that life is so good.
Mm-hmm.
So, So, we're just saying, this is the attitude that you take when you're thinking properly. And but just because the mind is affected by circumstances, it's not a big deal. You'll get back on track sooner or later. I just am just radical about it, because I don't like even one negative thought. So if a negative thought comes, I just convert it into a positive thought on the spot. That's yoga. Yoga is sublimating or converting negative energy into positive thoughts, and keep you moving forward in your path. Because as soon as you start getting too much negativity builds up, your whole life flow the flow just slows down, and eventually you get stuck, and it's really uncomfortable. And then you're all the time trying to break that blockage, writer's block. The writers talk about writer's block. I never had writer's block. I just keep my mind open, and Ishwar just keeps piling more and more thoughts into it all the time, So, yeah. Good. You're looking good, sweetheart. You're looking good. You were so skinny and round before. Now you're round and jolly. Good for you.
Working on it.
But you worked in a bakery for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, but that was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but that's a German bakery. That can bulk you up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I love those pastries. Whenever I go to Berlin, I always go to those shops and try out a few of the new pastries. So, okay, Johanna, love you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Same.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anyone else? Yes.
Me, Ramji. Lianik.
Lianik, where are you?
I have my camera off right now because I'm a little messy right now.
Okay. I see you now. Your picture's good. Oh, that's good. So, what is it, sweetheart?
Yeah, it's kind of comment and a question on how to find synergy between, let's see. A while ago, I studied Tantra Yoga, and in Tantra Yoga, we study deeply the connection between Shiva and Shakti.
Yeah.
Shiva as Purusha and Shakti as Prakriti.
Yeah, Prakriti Purusha, yes.
Consciousness and nature. So I'd like to ask you how to find or how to complement the knowledge of Vedanta into this kind of teachings.
Get rid of the Sanskrit. I know that's going to be a big one. In fact, before I published this, I had Prakriti and Purusha, and I had a whole bunch of those terms there. The only one I kept was the gunas.
For me, it's easier to understand in Sanskrit.
Well, that's fair enough. If you can relate those Sanskrit words to something that's personal and practical in your own experience, fine. That's where I started too. I learned enough Sanskrit, and Swamiji, of course, they chanted all the Sanskrit. So I learned enough Sanskrit to identify all those parts of myself with the proper Sanskrit words. But then then Swamiji sends me over to the West and tells me to teach, sit under a tree and teach. And Western people, they're not interested in Sanskrit.
True.
You know, get a handful, one or two here and there. They need, and there's no reason why they need Sanskrit if they can learn, you know, if we can give them good, clean English words and make those definitions clear.
Well, it's Spanish in my case because my first language is Spanish.
Oh.
But Ramji, for me, the Sanskrit words are like symbols also. So it's easier because the symbol get what.
Well, yeah, if you know the roots, you see, in Vedanta, that the Sanskrit came later. It was never, this tradition was never written down. It became a written tradition later on, but it was purely an oral tradition. In fact, I'm going to talk about that next week. I'll explain more clearly about the relationship between the oral tradition and the written tradition. And those roots are all those words are all based upon certain roots which have certain definitions, which are rooted in rooted in the nature of certain sounds.
Yes.
The sounds themselves generate energy. And when you put them together in a certain way and assign a particular meaning to them, the transformation takes place automatically inside you, as it does in Vedanta in English for the people that are learning the English. It can work in English too. But the Sanskrit is incredibly useful and powerful. I wouldn't recommend anybody to start out and try to learn Sanskrit. In fact,
I found out that Sanskrit and English they have common roots.
Yeah, they do. So all the Indo-European languages evolved out of Sanskrit. If you go back to, if you keep, reducing back in time, that's what we're trying to do with this teaching here. That's why I'm giving you these long time spans and showing how this great periods of time, billions of years became millions of years, and how the millions of years became thousands of years, and how the thousands of years became, days, weeks, and months, right on down to the present, right? And pointing out how time is actually how it works, and how it works for you, and how all these processes that consciousness has evolved over billions of years are available right now in us and accessible in us to what? To grease the wheels of our inquiry. So
what you're saying right now just made me think that what I learned before, I mean the tantric knowledge, it's basically the same thing that you're saying right now.
Yeah, it's different language systems. The problem is that most of these traditions dropped out. They omitted certain things from the original source, from the Vedas, like Buddhism and these other ones. Tantra also, the Tantric tradition. They didn't keep the original source texts. And so they took parts of it and evolved it, and that's very useful up to a point, but it's also what? It's also it's not helpful either.
What I found out about it is that we have to follow. I don't follow. I was following when I was studying it.
Yeah.
But we had to follow certain rules and things to do during the day.
Yeah.
For example, chanting the mantra 108 times.
Yeah.
And the black dress. We had to dress black on Saturdays also.
Yeah,
I mentioned that
All of those
So
are good. I mean, we recommend that in Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga has 5 basic practices, and those are things you're meant to do daily. And the whole thing there is just to build up a habit of worship. So
that's the way to build a worship habits, huh?
yeah, but building bhakti and doing everything that you formerly did for a material reason or a psychological reason to build it for a spiritual reason, for self-love. And because we're motivated by love.
Yes,
Because
of
love's
course.
the nature of the self. And you know, when we point out that love's the nature of the self, then you have a reason to seek it. So
Of course.
right? And
Yeah.
whatever you do with that understanding is going to benefit you. And this is good for any time, place, circumstance, any religion, any race, any class, any creed, any nationality, anything. It's good for everybody, anywhere, because we're all the same people. The whole point is there's only one person here.
Yes.
That's what Vedanta is saying. Is there's not a whole lot of different persons. There's you know, there's this archetypical human being, which is actually what? Nothing but God appearing in the material world, in the matter. So
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
you're welcome. So
Ramji,
Yeah.
again, Cecilia.
yeah,
So any predominant guna, well, the question would be, even having a predominant, as a jiva, of course, a predominant guna as tama,
yeah.
it's possible to go with knowledge beyond that and actualize. Being tamasic, is that possible? Because all these practices, or what Layani just said, it cultivates tattva. It's a preparation, I mean for
yeah,
yoga.
up to a point, but cultivating sattva, you can't. If you cultivated only sattva and chased all the rajas and tamas out, you'd be an idiot. I mean, you wouldn't sleep. You'd be a mess. That's why I pointed out I didn't unfold the details when I wanted to not get stuck in any of the details, but I pointed out that managing the gunas is managing all 3 of them and getting an equal balance between them. Like I'm a third tamasic, but I've managed to organize my tamas so that it takes up 1/3 of my daily life. So I'm getting my 8 hours a day. Now, one reason I'm so creative is because I'm resting. I don't have that exhaustion that comes when you're too rajasic. If you're too rajasic and you haven't organized your gunas properly, then what? Then you're always tired. Now, you're wired but tired. That's the zero-sum nature of this, you know, the modern world. And I dropped out when I said I'm never going to live in the modern world and get a job ever. When I was 18, I said I'm never going to do that, because I realized that it was nothing but just misery for me, for the type of person I was. And at the same time, I've got plenty of rajas. I got at least 1/3 of my energy is rajasic, and another third sattvic. And I use the rajas to facilitate the sattva. So rajas is a neutral energy. It's not good or bad. It only becomes negative when we put it into some negative thoughts. And you put that behind a positive thought toward a sattvic energy, a sattvic thought, and then it becomes a benefit. It becomes a positive force. So the only two real problems are tamas and sattva. And you get too sattvic, you have a huge problem. If you get too tamasic, you have a huge problem. Now we also say, well, if you get too rajasic, you have a huge problem. But if you're really too rajasic, you're going to be too tamasic at the same time. So understanding how these gunas work is very subtle. And once you get the understanding, boy, it's amazing what you can do. You know, to just to make your life pleasant and positive and happy. You know. So yeah.
Okay, then got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I ask another question, or do you want to give somebody
sure.
else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shy.
Yes. Is it okay, Ramaj?
Yeah, sure, it's fine.
Okay. I'm laughing because I'm going to say something and then I'm going to explain. The jiva can be such a pain in the ass. Okay, now let me explain what I just said. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, because you froze. I don't know, maybe it's my connection.
No, I'm still here.
Okay, let me explain the problem I am facing, okay?
Okay.
So bear with me. I know the self. I know that the jiva, I know what the jiva is. I have learned, I have read, I understand.
Everybody's got jiva knowledge. That's not hard to get.
Yes. Yes. Now, I understand that as the self, the jiva is known to me. So
that's why you can't have jiva knowledge unless the self is providing the awareness that makes knowledge possible. So yes.
Yes. And I know that everything that jiva has, according to Vedanta, is just objects, thoughts, feelings, sensations.
Yeah.
It's objects.
Yeah.
And I understand they are apparently real.
Yeah.
They are apparently real because the only thing that's real is the self, which doesn't change, doesn't move, doesn't go. I understand all of that. Okay. That's all perfect. But let me tell you what is often happening to me. And then you can tell me maybe if I should do many more hours of karma yoga in order to sort out this problem. Okay?
I don't think you should. I'll tell you before. I don't think you should do many. I think you've done enough karma yoga probably.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you the problem, and then you tell me what to do.
You know what I'm going to say, don't you?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't know what
all right, then it'll be a surprise.
Okay. So I'll try to illustrate this as best as I can. When I am the self, right? When thoughts appear.
Yeah, when are you not the self, Shai?
All the time I'm the self.
Huh?
All the time, just for the sake of this.
Okay, just for the sake of argument, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm always the self. It's just that how am I going to explain, you know?
Okay, all right, okay.
I need to explain.
Okay, I'm going to try to take this seriously.
What?
No, so I can understand, okay. Because I don't understand, so I got to understand to answer the question.
Okay. So the jiva, thoughts appear in the jiva. Thoughts are objects, of course. It goes, okay, nice. It comes and goes, no problem. But oftentimes, what happens is when feelings appear in the jiva, even though they are known, of course, they are known.
Yeah.
But oftentimes I feel like. I'm going to explain this as best as I can with an illustration. Like this is a feeling or a sensation, right? And yes, it's known, but it feels like, God damn it, feels like glue. And I know it's known, but God damn it, sometimes it feels like glue. And I don't know what to do about this.
You're identifying with it. Why do you identify with this, the thoughts?
Sorry, no, the feelings.
The feelings,
thoughts.
okay, the feeling or the thought. Okay, you don't. The thoughts just come and go. The feelings are more tricky because they're sticky,
Yes.
right? They're sticky.
Like glue.
Yeah, they're like glue.
Yeah.
So okay. So what should you do then? What do you do? I don't think you should do more karma yoga.
What?
No, well, because all you're going to do is reinforce the doer. So this is the doer's problem.
Okay. Then what should I do? What should I do?
Well, you
James?
shouldn't do anything because, you should think. I mean, if you're going to do something, think it through, and avoid the idea of doing something, because that doer is going to just create more vasanas for doing, isn't it?
Well,
the answer is
okay.
yes. The answer.
Okay. Yes. So,
but
okay.
see, I think you're not clear about what freedom is. What the
No,
self
yes,
is.
I am. Yes, I am.
But it's freedom from the doer. So if you're clear about that, then you're already free of the doer. So why should you build up doership vasanas when you as awareness are free of the doer? Why? That doesn't make sense.
Because so I know anything I say is known now to the
No,
true
never
self.
mind that it's known. Forget.
But I cannot.
But
It seems like
you got a stuck feeling.
Stuck feelings, and they feel like goddamn glue, and I can't stop identifying.
Well,
with them.
but they feel like glue, but they're not glue. They're glue because you believe that feeling. You're taking that feeling to be real. You don't take thoughts to be real because they're insubstantial. You don't get stuck on thoughts, but you get stuck on feelings. But what's the difference between a thought and a feeling? They're both objects.
Yes, but the feelings feel like a pile of shit sometimes. Sorry for the expression.
Well, yeah. Okay, so what's wrong with shit?
Well, it doesn't feel so good.
Well, sniff it a bit and learn to love it.
What?
Yeah. Love it, warts and all.
Love it, warts and all, man.
What do you mean love it? Love the feelings that are like a pile of shit?
Yeah, this is what we don't recommend it in general, but for people that are stuck like that, we definitely recommend loving your shit.
No, I said feelings who feel like shit. I didn't say shit.
Well, but the shit is the feelings that feel like shit. That's shit.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay.
Love
Sorry, I
those
misunderstood what you meant.
Love them away.
How? How do I love them away?
You're pushing them away. Embrace them.
How? I don't know how to embrace them. How? Tell me. I'll do it.
How to embrace them? Okay.
Yes.
How do you embrace a nice dinner? Say a falafel with hummus and all.
Oh, very, very, very well.
Okay. Just imagine that those feelings are hummus and love them.
Hummus and falafel.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
You're capable of loving hummus. Oh, I love this Israel shawarma. Oh, shawarma hummus. Oh, the olive oil poured in there. Huh? Those.
Yeah.
Oh. That feeling's there, so use that feeling to love the bad feelings. Just love them away. It just burns them away.
Love them away. Like try to imagine they are something else.
Yeah, try to imagine they're like they're not pieces of shit. They're a plate of shawarma and hummus. Oh my God.
Falafel, hummus, yeah. Okay, that's nice. Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, good. Yeah, because
thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, everybody loves your nature, and people love to hate, but that's not the thing to do. Love to love,
Hello, Ramji.
Yes.
with Nicole from the Netherlands.
Hi, Nicole.
Hello. I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you say there is one God, and we all love that God in another form? So for somebody, it's Allah. For another one, it's God.
Yeah.
For another one, it's the Buddha.
Yeah.
For another one. But it's actually all different forms. But it's the same God.
Yes, that's
and
correct.
If we learn to respect each other, that we all love the same God, but for everybody it has another form.
In order for it to be all these different things, it has to be formless. It can't be if it has only if it's only in a Jesus form. Then if God's only Jesus or only Allah or only Buddha, then that's a big problem, God. So we say there's only God. We don't even say there's one God. We say there's only God. But insofar as, and Krishna deals with this in the Gita, he says, in whatever form you worship me, I will appear to you to make your faith strong. Not faith in your particular God, but faith in yourself. Because you want to have that love going back to yourself, not away from you to some remote God, to some conceptual God. Like when you think of Jesus, do you think of yourself? No, you think of Jesus. When you think of Buddha, you think of yourself? No, you think of Buddha. Or Zoroastria, or whoever it is, or the angels in heaven, whatever it is. You don't think of yourself, you think of someplace else. But it's only yourself that appears as all these gods, because it has no form, and its nature is love. But according to your vasanas, you choose one of these forms, and you focus on that. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. On the other hand, staying focused on one aspect of reality is not that healthy either, even if it's a loving thing. Because people go to war in the name of their gods, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, my God says this and my God says that. Bin Laden.
Gents, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Just 1 second. There is an alarm. I have to go. Go hide. Bye.
Okay, bye. He's in Israel. There's an alarm. Who knows? Rockets and stuff. Can you imagine what it's best like living there? But on the other hand, what can you do? I mean, except just, trust God. That's it. You're going to die one fine day anyway. And if a rocket lands on your head, you won't know, you won't suffer. So, you could actually, live a long, miserable life, suffering day in and day out, and asking for life to give you death. But at least if it comes in that form, well, that's not the kiss of death either. I mean, it's a kiss of death, but it's not the kiss of death. So it's anyway. So did that help?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Are you going to come to our seminar in Os?
Yes, I will see you there.
Okay, very good. Yeah, we're going to continue this teaching.
Yeah,
You'll see it. It's going to be a good one. I'm really inspired by this. I'm like totally turned on. I'm like excited, really. Actually, because I can see that this is working and it's really helpful. And so I just keep developing it over and over and over again, refining it and it's good for me, and other people seem to enjoy it. Okay, any other questions? Looks like we're. Hey, Mark, how are you? Hey. Yeah, and this is, oh, is that Ifat? Ifat! Hey, I didn't recognize you. My God, I thought I know that woman, and then, I'll be damned. That's so lovely to see you. How are you dealing with it? You're in Israel, right?
Yes, I am.
How are you dealing with it?
Just dealing with it.
Yeah, you're smiling.
Yeah.
It's
a reflex.
It's a reflex. Yeah, when you're happy, you got no choice but to smile, right?
Yeah, suppose.
Yeah, good. It was so lovely to see you in Amsterdam at Hilbrand's. We had a great time.
Yeah, one of the best weeks in my life.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, good for me too. After all those years, I mean, so cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Like the part of the shawarma today.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Yeah. Yeah. We're big. We make our own shawarma here. I found a little place here that does shawarma in Spain. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so that should do it, I guess. Yeah. So take it easy, guys. It was lovely to communicate again. I like this format, and Georg's got this. He's doing a great job on this. This is really getting quite sophisticated. The programs that we got here, and we've got a powerful enough computer now that we can really keep developing this. I think this is streaming live on YouTube now, and we'll post this later.
Dave is on YouTube.
Who?
Dave.
Oh, Dave's on YouTube.
He's
watching it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we're gradually figuring out how to bring this more and more and more to everybody in the world. And it's really working well. Anyway, thanks again for coming, and we'll see you next week, hopefully, and continue with this, unfolding this teaching in this manner. So.
Want to chant or just finish like this?
No, it's fine.
Thank you, Ramji.
Is that Sareka? Bye, Sareka. No, that's Shaida.
Oh,
there's there's Sareka. Cool.
Thank you, Ramji.
You're welcome, Cece.
Thank you, Ramji.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Ramji.
Thank you.
You bet.
Love you, Randy. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
You two are doing a great job with all this technology and.
Well, thank you. I like it. It's good for my brain. I like to keep myself active and learning. And he's my guru here. My.
Thank you, George.
You're welcome. My pleasure too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye, Mark. Bye, Susan.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See
See you
you.
later.
Okay.
Thanks, Georg.
No, you're welcome. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Stop it here.
Hmm?
Where do I stop it?